Hey yo, what's good with it? This is Black Hayek. Thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. And be on the lookout for blackpigeon.net, a personal website. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the basic income and why I think that the Libertarian Party should adopt it. The basic income is pretty much free money where the government subsidizes the basic cost of living for low-income individuals. So the main argument against the basic income is that it goes against the non-aggression principle. It's still a subsidy. It's welfare. Still, you're not solving the issue of welfare, and you're gonna make people lazy. I understand the criticisms of the policy, but I think that there's a way that you can use the policy as a means to a particular end. And I hate to say it like that, but what I mean by that is the goal ultimately is to limit government. The goal ultimately is to decrease the size of government and its control over various sectors of our lives. So I think the basic income is a great way to do this because first off, we already spend a bunch of money on welfare. We have over 82 departments of welfare doing things that overlap. If we were to consolidate all 82 departments into maybe one single department where it just dishes out a basic income or distributes the funds based off of, let's say, states' calculations on what their average cost of living is, because it would vary from state to state, we would have the same amount of money being spent, but it would be spent by individuals more than the government, because currently, as we all know, much of the funds that go to welfare are caught in administrative cost, so a lot of it is wasted. So we spend about $66,000 per family of four on welfare or for the recipients. If we could easily use that money, give it directly to the family or directly to the individuals of the family and allow for them to make their own decisions with that money. And I think that there is a free market argument with it, because the whole argument against welfare, beyond the basic philosophical argument of the non-aggression principle, is that the government takes these funds away and gives it to another group, but wastes most of the funds that they're trying to give to this group, and the programs aren't efficient. They're not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. They're not decreasing poverty. They're creating more reliance. So, and then a lot of the time these programs got strings attached to them that keeps people poor, or keeps poor individuals hiding their incomes so that they could still receive these benefits. At least with the basic income, we get the government more out the way than what they're involved in right now. Let's say that 97% of the funds are used to actually give directly to the individuals receiving these funds. And we could have income limits. We could have different ways of doing it. The thing I personally advocate for is having a period where you have the basic income established, but then you have other economic policies established also. And this is why I think that the basic income is good, because in a libertarian economic system, of course you're going to have deflationary trends, because you're going to have a totally different monetary policy, a totally different regulatory policy, a totally different tax policy, and a totally different policy on subsidies, spending on military expenditures and all the such. You're going to have a different economic system. But in order for this system to happen, you need the market to reallocate itself and reallocate resources into the most productive sectors of the economy. And that is going to take a long period of deflation because of how inflated the prices are in the market right now, especially when we're talking about housing and basic stuff. So as these economic changes take place, what's going to happen is you're going to have really harsh circumstances. And I think that the basic income is a way for us to get through these harsh circumstances politically, where the market crashes, the market is reallocating, and people aren't mad because they're losing their jobs. That we're explaining to them that we're allowing the market to restructure, but at the same time, here's the basic income for, let's say, 8 years. so that you could at least stay afloat as the market readjusts, as prices readjust. I think that's the main goal, is for the reality of prices to be achieved. Now, I understand also that the basic income does affect the aggregate of the consumer. So you might have prices stay at an elevated level. Many would say, oh, the basic income is inflationary. I disagree with that, because if you have different economic policies established with it, like a different monetary policy, a different regulatory policy, taxes, etc., you're going to have the effects of the policies on prices to be gone. So you're going to have prices decline anyways, especially with a different monetary policy. So as the prices decline, it will level out. The basic income will level out with it. And I think that there will be a certain amount of equilibrium that will be gained. But politically, it's gold, because you can always make the argument as a libertarian politician that, hey, we want at least for the people to control the funds rather than the government to control the funds. Allow for people to make decisions in the marketplace with these funds, and we're going to have better outcomes. We're going to have better results. People are going to be able to save and invest, or whatever the case. I think that also there does have to be certain limits on a basic income. You can have household limits. You can have limits on individuals, the maximum, so they don't keep on having kids. You can have limits on income. So if you're making $80,000, you're not receiving a check from the government. There are different ways we can tweak this, but I think as a foundation to lean towards the means to end welfare over a longer period of time, because once the market reallocates and prices are low, there won't be a need for welfare, especially over an extended period of time where people actually had the time to maybe get job training, maybe buy another house, maybe invest in the business, whatever they want to do, whatever dreams that they have. And not even to mention that the crime that will be decreased and the money that will be saved from crime prevention, from the need to spend money on the police departments. So we could, and even the prison system. I mean, there's so many things that we could address if we establish a basic income, and it would be more politically viable. And I think that we'll gain a lot of traction if we were to establish that as one of our party platforms, at least for a period of time, with the ultimate goal of ending welfare as we know it. So this is Black Hayek putting my thoughts into this thing. Please subscribe, and I hope you like the video.